time to get creative. I need a logo is all I need. Hey, hey. Party hack, drink every time I say logo in this video. Logo. As promised, this video is going to be about how I made the logo. But first, story time! I was hanging out with some friends one evening. It was time to go home, so I hopped on a bike, kind of tripped over and fell a little bit. And one of my friends, Mr. Mateus here, asked me, "Hey, are you okay, Lee?" And I thought that was brilliant. Nobody ever had put my name, Kaylee, next to okay. OKeily, which means, by the way, if you search in the dictionary, when you do something that is not the best, it's not, great, but you tried your best, so it turned out OKeily. So thank you, Mateus, for bringing OKeily into my life. End of story time. At first, though, I was looking for a different name. Actually, I was looking for something with more of a dichotomy, more of a double meaning. So I started putting things that were a bit like with this girly and this manly, and I came up with some ideas like the ones you see here: pink, black, black, pink, or even something like Kitty Fox. Don't Google that. In my mind, I kept going back to OKeily. OKeily, though, as everything is taken online, apparently it's also a mall in Barcelona. But I mean, it's not a person, it's not a brand, so dips! Then of course it was time to choose a font. That is a bit difficult because there's thousands of fonts. So I simply stuck to a handful of fonts, and for a brand you kind of have to not just appeal to yourself but also to others. I sent it around to some family and friends and let them decide which font was the best. Most people really like that one font. Now, lucky for me, this font is more of a handwritten, almost watercolor type of font. So I had to make it my own. A digital font was not gonna cut it for an artsy girl like moi. So I just, recreated it myself. Grabbed my watercolors and I started. I tried to copy exactly the way and the thickness of all the lines in the font because people seem to like it, but make it a bit my own. Now, I realized that the K was not very nice looking, so I drew a bunch of other Ks and chose my favorite one and replaced it. I scanned it and deleted the background so it was transparent, so I could put it on top of anything. I made different versions with different colors, but it was still missing something. It was almost boring. I needed an image. I remember I first tried to get a fun image out of Maki, my cat, but that didn't go as well. He was not gonna do. I had to take matters into my own hands. I really wanted to, bring back this idea of dichotomy. Then it hit me. I had drawn a little doodle with that sentiment already, but again, it wasn't really me. It was just a doodle, it was just something to pass the time, and it was actually kind of Asian, and also it didn't have the right expression. So I had to be resourceful, just like my ancestors were. I had a selfie session, but ended up with this hideosity. You see, with art sometimes it's not about the first picture itself, it's about what you do with it. Let me show you guys how I did it. Roll the clip with an awesome royalty-free music. So what you need to do is, first of all, ignore the horrible picture you're bound to take and simply see the features. Next, I simply create another layer in case I mess up. I just delete it and start again. I try to do it fast, I try to keep it simple, so instead of drawing from scratch, I use technology because baby, we live in the future. And I simply use the technique of oil painting that Photoshop has and played around a little with the saturation, the cleanliness, the brush detail, etc. And sometimes you'll mess it up, and sometimes it will look smooth. So once I was happy with the outcome, that it's all smooth, it kind of looks like paintbrushes, but not too much. There's this hyper reality type thing going on in the background. Secret it is, because it's from reality, it's picture. After that, I just simply started doodling on top of it. I created a few extra layers, outlined everything. I just went shoop, 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 until I had a desired look. So every layer that you create, you can see it as a fresh possibility to go wild and add things. And if you don't like it, well, to the trash. I added some details, like I needed some more makeup, you know me, like I gotta look good, you know. So I added a little bit of more, you know, rosy lips and such. I fill in my brows on fleek. And the way that I did the glasses was to select the oval shapes of them, like where the glass would be, and painted them a color. And then I simply go to that layer. Remember to work with layers. Use the opacity or transparency, put it a bit lower so that it's a bit like see-through, you know, like their glasses. As I said before, I tried to keep this dichotomy and chose for one side of the glasses in turquoise and the other side in hot pink. Then I wasn't very happy with the overall look of it. I thought the picture was a bit yellow, a bit boring, a bit flat. So I played around with the saturation, the hue. A party! Oh, blonde. Do I look good as a blonde? Anyways, I stopped fooling around, ended up with something like this. It's a bit warmer, it's a bit more rich. It's like, heck yeah, I match with the pink. When I was happy with the result, I created a few different styles and I cropped it in a square, because that's usually what I will do for a logo. Usually for avatars or profile pictures, you need like a square. So I made sure that the crop was still legible and that it looked good, small or big. If you need to design a logo from scratch, you can do it this way by just collecting information and making it your own. Or you can visit places like canva.com. There's a lot of other websites that do logo design, and you can even pay somebody else to do your logo. But I mean, we're artsy here, so let's just try to do it ourselves. It's a bit more personal when you add yourself into the logo somehow. Unless, of course, it's for somebody else, then try to make that logo for them, something that will fit them and what they are asking for. To conclude, you need to pick a name. Secondly, you need to pick a font. If you want to be clever about it, you can also add a meaningful image or play with it. This one from Amazon, you can see there's actually a line that says from A to Z to say that they have it all. Or you can be sneaky and do something like this one. You can draw it directly on your computer, or you can just do it by hand, but you have to make it digital. Also, don't forget to think about the quality of it, of both the logo, the font, the image, everything, because you need to be able to put it on top of really high definition things as well as really tiny spaces. Make sure to save it as PNG, not as JPEG or other ones. PNG is great because it keeps the HDness of the image, but it also keeps the transparency without it being a massive file. So that's it. Join me next time where we will do something like this or like that. I don't know, we'll see. Right, I'm supposed to say like, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share. But I mean, you already know what to do. Well, see you guys. Excuse you? What are you doing in here? Get back!